That fifth cement truck just shattered the main support beam on my great-grandfather's bridge. And there she was, our HOA president, Deborah Kingsley Pierce, standing at her kitchen window with a coffee mug, smiling. She thought she had me beat. Send truck after truck across my family's hand-built oak bridge until it collapsed. Then swoop in with her emergency demolition order. Force me to sell the creekfront land my family had protected for 4 generations. But what this corporate lawyer-turned-suburban tyrant didn't know was that I'm a retired Army Corps engineer, and I was about to turn her own corruption into the trap that would destroy her forever. The diesel exhaust was choking out my morning air. My grandmother's china rattled in the cabinet like an earthquake, but watching those stress fractures spread through timber my great-grandfather cut with his own hands, I wasn't shaking from rage anymore. I was calculating. What would you do if your HOA tried to steal generational family land? Let me back up. My name's Marcus Thornfield, 52 years old, retired engineering contractor, living quietly on the 40-acre homestead my great-grandfather built back in the 1920s. Our land sits along Willow Creek, once rural paradise, now swallowed by the Willowbrook subdivision, a forest of vinyl fences and identical mailboxes. The crown jewel of our property has always been the bridge, hand-hewn oak beams, no nails, just joinery, built by my great-grandfather himself. 4 generations of Thornfields have crossed that bridge to come home. My grandfather proposed to my grandmother on it. My father taught me to fish from its railings. I carried my wife across it on our wedding day, and later, my newborn daughter the same way. The bridge smells like linseed oil and memory. When you run your fingers along the rail, you feel every tool mark, each one a heartbeat frozen in wood. That bridge wasn't just lumber, it was lineage. Then she arrived. Deborah Kingsley Pierce to 48, a perfectly coiffed viper. Designer suits for grocery runs. A lawyer's smile sharp enough to slice marble. She'd made her fortune bulldozing family farms to make way for strip malls. And now, she'd maneuvered herself into power as the new HOA president. Her first decree: my century-old bridge, she said, was a safety hazard. Substandard infrastructure threatening property values. Translation: I want your land. She showed up at my door in a white blazer, holding legal papers, and that corporate smile. Mr. Thornfield, she said, I'm here to help modernize your property. My property was standing when this was still cow pasture. I told her, progress waits for no one, she replied. Replace it or face $500 in daily fines. I smiled right back, because 20 years in the Army Corps teaches you one thing. Every structure has weak points, and so does every enemy. The next morning the assault began. Cement trucks, dozens of them, each one weighing 30 tons, each one rattling my bridge to its bones. Drivers shrugged. HOA approved route POW. With every pass, stress fractures spread like spiderwebs. The sweet morning mist of Willow Creek turned into diesel haze. My grandmother's honeysuckle smelled like exhaust. 3 weeks later, her brother-in-law conveniently, the city inspector, declared the bridge unsafe. Immediate danger, he said. 30 days to demolish or we'll do it and send you the bill. That night, I sat on the bridge listening to the creak and the distant hum of trucks. Diesel fumes mixed with honeysuckle. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about safety. This was a siege. And Deborah had just made her first tactical mistake. She gave me a deadline. In the Army we used to say, time is ammunition. 2 weeks later, my daughter Sarah got engaged. She wanted the reception right here by the creek, under the same willows where her grandparents once danced. The morning of the wedding dawned perfect. Blue sky, roses in bloom, hope in the air. Then I heard it, the distant rumble of diesel engines, 6 of them. The first truck hit the bridge like a war drum. Timber screamed, champagne flutes shattered. My mother froze halfway across, gripping her walker like a lifeline. Everyone back to the house. I yelled, chaos, guests fleeing, cameras rolling, my daughter's perfect day swallowed by exhaust. And when the dust settled, there she was again, Deborah, standing at her window, coffee mug raised in a silent toast. That image burned into my brain. That night, while helping guests to their cars, I overheard 2 drivers talking. Kensington Construction's paying double for weekend runs. Kensington, her company. A quick search confirmed it. Deborah owned nearly half the construction firm sending the trucks. She wasn't just wrecking my bridge, she was billing herself for the cleanup. Her replacement quote arrived Monday morning, $80,000, but the historical appraisal I got the same day valued the bridge at $150,000. She was trying to destroy history and profit from the ashes. So I did what engineers do best. I started building my case.
I filed a restraining order. Hired an independent expert, Dr. Amanda Rodriguez, 40 years of civil engineering. Her report was clear. Classic signs of overload stress. Original construction remarkably sound. For the first time in months, I exhaled. The system was working. Until Sunday evening, when my neighbor Jake knocked with his phone. "Marcus, you need to see what she posted." Deborah's Facebook announcement read like a smear campaign. Concerned neighbors, Mr. Thornfield's bridge is a community hazard. How many children must be at risk before he acts responsibly? Within hours, 40 shares, dozens of angry comments. The public opinion war had begun. Monday morning, the restraining order vanished, overturned by a local judge. By Tuesday, the trucks were back, every 30 minutes. Our house trembled. My wife started wearing noise-canceling headphones just to have breakfast. The psychological warfare was working until insomnia gave me clarity. Lying awake at 2 a.m., I remembered an old military principle. Don't attack strength, exploit weakness. Thursday morning, I went digging through county archives. The clerk, Mrs. Henderson, who'd known my grandfather, helped me find the original 1923 property survey. Faded ink, leather binding, smelled like dust and destiny. Buried inside was a single clause: perpetual right of passage for family and invited guests across Willow Creek via existing timber span. My great-grandfather had protected us, a century in advance. The bridge predated every HOA covenant by 60 years, and under property law, that meant one thing: grandfather rights. My bridge was untouchable. Friday, I brought in a local historian to verify authenticity. She confirmed it and helped me file for historical preservation status. Now, any demolition would require months of hearings and environmental reviews. Game on. Sunday afternoon, I called a private meeting with the HOA board, minus Deborah. I spread out the old survey across Jake Morrison's kitchen table, right next to his wife's apple pie. "Folks," I said, "you've been misled. You're operating outside your legal authority." One by one, the board members' faces went pale. By Monday, 3 had resigned their support for Deborah's crusade. But instead of backing down, she doubled down. Tuesday evening, she held a packed HOA meeting. Flyers, PowerPoint, the whole circus. She declared my bridge a commercial hazard, claimed I owed $75,000 in retroactive fees. When they opened public comment, I stood, calm, tired, ready. "Before you vote," I said, connecting my laptop to the projector, "I want to share a few documents. First slide, the 1923 property survey. Note the phrase, perpetual right of passage. This bridge predates your HOA by 6 decades. A hush swept the room. Second slide, the historian's report confirming the bridge's eligibility for state protection. Any demolition would now require public hearings, I said. Deborah's smile faltered. Then came my third slide. Blueprints, luxury condominiums, filed 6 months before she moved in. The developer, Kensley Development Company. "Notice the lot numbers," I said. "They match my property exactly." Gasps. And, finally, the bank documents. Pre-construction financing listing my land as collateral. I looked straight at her. Someone's been planning this takeover for 2 years. Silence. The kind that ends careers. The next morning, the trucks were gone. The HOA newsletter announced leadership restructuring. Deborah had resigned for personal reasons. My bridge still stands. The oak beams still smell like linseed and rain. Sometimes when the wind crosses Willow Creek just right, I swear I can hear my great-grandfather's laughter echoing off the railings. Proud, defiant, and unbroken. Because some things, like family, craftsmanship, and truth, are built to outlast the noise.